So in this lesson, we're actually going to move over to the fundamental side and cover the essential ways to stay ahead of the market at all times. Now, this is actually a lot easier than many may think, and it's simply down to entering your favorite crypto into Google. And what is happening now is the crucial news, I'm talking the groundbreaking headlining news, will usually be the first thing that comes up on Google. So for example, if you go to Google, you type in Ethereum, the first thing we can see is 15 hours ago, a post was made saying the Ethereum software sees delay ahead of the Byzantium fork. Now, if we go to the Ethereum chart, we can already see that was reflected in the price with a fall all the way down to $289. We're now back at $326. If we were aware at the time of this news, we would have been able to predict or maybe even get another entry in. So it's all down to how aware and how dedicated you are to staying on top of cryptos. Again, if you're a long-term investor, this is an essential. You do not need to be in and out of the news all day, every day, trying to find good entry points. But if we go to Bitcoin, we can see we are about to see massive disruptions of some kind. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, is saying it's time to get serious. So again, we can go to Bitcoin. We've just met all-time highs. There's no coincidence the bad news comes out the minute we start reaching new levels. And all this essentially is, this is market manipulation in play. They're already giving us a warning in advance. The price will eventually crash down another large amount. So all that means is we could easily retest to 5,000, or we could easily retest back to 3,000 again. There's no doubt. But that also means we could extremely explode beforehand, completely smashing 7,000. We may even excel to 8,000. The point is, the news is telling you big moves are coming. So it's up to you to read that news and really decipher what it's trying to get across. Now, the problem is, again, without the regulation and without the current restrictions in this space, we're almost in a wild west, where when news comes out, it severely impacts the price of cryptos. For example, if Bitcoin was to have another fork, or there was an error in the system, or they found a code and a bug in the blockchain, Bitcoin would instantly fall in value. When the CEO of JP Morgan did say that Bitcoin was a scam, this is what caused the fall. This is actually what happened. So we reached new highs. The CEO of JP Morgan claims that Bitcoin is a scam. We then fall from $5,000 to $3,000, a drop of $2,000 just off news alone. So you have to be very aware of what is happening, and also keep this as a reminder that just because bad news comes out and price may fall a few %, it doesn't mean it's the end of cryptos. It doesn't mean a crash is coming. It doesn't mean it's going to crash and burn forever. It just simply means the market's being manipulated to prior levels. This is allowing bigger players like the institutions cheaper prices to buy in. So it's completely logical why this is happening. As professional and smart investors, we have to separate the psychology from this and just let the price do what it needs to do. If you see it corrects with your levels, and the problem is, people are not having the correct levels set up. So when the price falls, to them it's completely random. We're giving you the foundation to place these levels and understand exactly where they're going to be manipulated next. So if we go through, another key example is Ripple. We have the Swell conference coming up. The Swell conference is taking place in exactly 3 days. Ripple price surges 30% as Ripple now adds a 100th member. So we go to the Ripple chart. That is absolutely correct. We did see a gain of 30% in the prior week. The weekly candle is now retested. Again, if you notice, this is perfectly in line with all of our technicals. Now, what is happening in the next 3 days is Ripple is having a huge conference consisting over the period of 2 days. They're going to have some of the hugest financial institutions there. They're going to have banks there. They're going to have even members of the Federal Reserve there. So as you can imagine, hype builds up. So what this means is price is already being manipulated downwards in anticipation for the event. The main investors and the key people who control this market, usually the people who are holding multi-million dollars worth of these cryptos, will drive the price lower. From here, we can anticipate breakouts in line with our Fibonacci and technical levels. So what this means is, for example, Ethereum. Now when the Ethereum fork does take place, the last time the Ethereum fork took place, we did actually rise all the way to $400. And essentially the original hard fork that happened, that took the technology further and advanced, ready for the next stage of mainstream adoption, completely exploded the price. So every time you know there's an upcoming event, you should be aware of what will potentially happen to the crypto, as it will get very, very volatile. So essentially what I want you guys to do is research into the company, go onto the main website, look at news releases, sign up to newsletters. Again, I sign up to several newsletters from the official company's website. And what this allows me to do is say, okay, there's a conference coming up here. They have an announcement coming in a week. We have upgrades coming to the system. There's another hard fork coming. They've just recruited 7 new developers. We've just got a new website. All of this has to be taken into account, because then you know when this is taking place, you know what exactly is happening, and you can start to understand just how impactful this news will be. And guys, it's all about predicting these moves in advance. So when we're combining this with our technicals, we're always ahead of the game. And again, if you're taking notes the way I hope you are, you will have noticed a recurring theme. We want to stay one step ahead at all times. We want to know exactly where the price could potentially spike. And we want to be comfortable knowing if it goes up or down, this was expected to some extent. We do not want you to panic. Once you have everything set up, you're no longer scared of what may happen, because you're already in control. We cannot control the markets, but we can control our mindsets and our approach to how the price moves. Now let's move to the final lesson of this chapter, where I'll help you put this all together and even give you some predictions on what may potentially happen by putting all of our analysis and skills together. See you guys in the final lesson.